advice would you give to a new manager? Say, for instance, they're considering their career at the moment. They're a partner. They've been a biller for a while, and they're thinking, do you know what? Yeah, I fancy doing a bit of management, because some people think it's an easier gig, which I definitely don't think it's an easier gig. But what advice would you give to someone who's thinking or contemplating, actually, maybe I should go into management?
Well, I think if you're doing it for the money, you're going to be upset. I think salespeople should always be earning more than the managers. The top salespeople, that is, they should always be earning more. I think if you're doing it just for the money, probably the wrong move. If you're doing it because you like the idea of taking the things that you've learned and passing them on and helping other people, doing it from a service perspective, you want to be able to take other people, mentor them, and take them on their journey, then you're on the right path.
Yeah. What do you think the key criteria is, when you have to adjust to a manager? What things did you have to overcome thinking, I've actually given up, maybe you've given up accounts, or you had to lose your ego a bit, or whether you had one or not, but I don't know.
I had an ego. I had plenty of that. I certainly had plenty of that. But I think the things that I learned around what you need to have as a manager, you definitely have to put the needs of others ahead of yourself. I think you go from, as a salesperson, it's all about me. It's all about me. What do I get? How do I do this? What's in it for me? And then when you go into management, you have to break away from that. It's about what's good for the team, what's going to be good for them. How do I help this individual? How do I put their needs ahead of my own? Because the thing is, by working in that way, by looking after them and putting their needs ahead of your own, you're effectively looking after yourself, but it's just doing it the right way around.
And let's talk about your career at Total, because during that time you became a part of a team that sort of scaled the business from a small VAR into a big business. How do you think you achieved that, and how did you actually become part of that team?
So I became part of that team from my connection with Kieran, who I know you know.
Yeah, lovely guy, yeah.
He used to be my boss back in the Misco days for a period of time. So we kind of stayed connected. And then the opportunity came about that they were thinking of opening a London office, having a London base and scaling out there. And it was something that they were hoping someone could come in and set that up for them. And something in me just told me that I could do it. Again, I had quite a lot of confidence that I would be able to do that in some way. Didn't really
deluded confidence.
Didn't know how. That bloody ego of mine again. I was like, yeah, I got that. I can do that. So we quickly realised that we were on the same page with a lot of things. Me, Kieran, and Aidan, we were quite comfortable with what was being proposed. So we set up a London office. That was it. It made it sound very simple. And do you know what? To some degree, it was. And if you asked what was it that made it so successful, we went from 0 to 22 odd heads within a couple of years, and went from £0 to contributing over 24 million in, again, just 2 years. And that was to a business that was turning over 45, 50, 60 million at that time, and that rate of progress. So it was quite a significant contribution, but I'd go as far as saying it was nothing to do with me. It's the people that I was lucky enough to be able to bring along on that journey with me.
And going back to your management style, because there are a lot of people would have thought, okay, you've been a biller, you've been successful, you're now going to start a London office. Yeah. You're not some big hotshot manager that's done it before. It must be terrifying actually thinking, I'm recruiting these people. Yeah. Are they going to believe in my methods? Was there doubt when you thought, can I do this?
The terrifying thing for me was you're taking people that currently have a job and they're secure and their bills are being paid and their family's being looked after, and you're effectively going to them and you're saying, put your faith and trust in me. And that's so scary. It's so scary, but again, maybe far too much confidence at the time. But I really believed in the business. When you realise what their morals and values and ethics are, and they deeply believe that, then I think that also gave me the confidence to go out there and be able to have these conversations with people. But very scary going to people and saying, have your faith in me. I have no track record in management. I have nothing to offer you other than the backing of the directors at this brilliant company. Are you willing to join me? And again, so fortunate and lucky that people were willing to take a bit of a punt on me in the business at the time. we got such a brilliant group of people together. It was amazing when you look at some of the names. You get some of the names and the pictures from them days, and you go, we assembled a proper squad, and we did it, and it felt right as well. It didn't feel like just a group of people working in an office. It felt people hate using that term family, right? So I won't use that to describe it, but it's a very close-knit group of people that genuinely loved working with each other. It was great.
And then what made you decide to leave? Because obviously you built the squad, you've been successful, you're doing really well, you're respected by the industry. Obviously Aidan and Kieran would have thought you'd been a great employee. So what made you make the jump?
Well, I love the company to bits. I loved them then, I still do now. A huge amount of respect for Aidan and Kieran. I got to a point where I think you should be able to leave before things go sideways. Like, you shouldn't only have to leave a company when things go bad for a reason. I think you're allowed to leave at the top, or at the top of whatever the top looks like for you.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me. I feel like 7 years I was there. I did as much as I could. 5 years of running the London office, 2 years of helping set up the solutions and services side of the business. And I felt like as far as I could possibly go, I could have stayed there. No joke. I reckon I could be there I could have stayed for another 10 years. And I would have done it with a smile on my face, and I would have still gone through it. But the one word that describes why I left is probably ambition. I always said I wanted to get into the sales director role by the age of 40. I was 40 in March this year. So it was a little bit of ambition, maybe a tiny bit of ego too, that said, if you're going to do this, you won't necessarily be able to do it here. You're going to have to go somewhere else.
And do you think, and it's an interesting point that, because if you're in a company where maybe the MD's already established, Aidan, maybe the sales director's already established, Kieran, there's maybe potentially limited opportunities to get into that sort of that C level. Would you advise people, if they're looking for the next job, it is actually to explore other opportunities and think, you know what, there is other companies that can offer that promotion? Because what I do find is in the IT channel, a lot of people won't give an opportunity to a manager to take the sales director. They're looking for a shoe-in straight away. It's got to be, they've already got to be doing it. They've already got to have done it. They've got to have a proven track record of doing it. Do you think it's necessary for people who are looking for a promotion to actually think, do you know what, look outside the company before they look inside it?
I wouldn't necessarily say before, but I would definitely say as part of the looking for the role, definitely explore it. I think that there's a lot of fear involved and comfort involved when it comes to doing jobs of that size. Because you go, I'm quite comfortable here. I could have very easily said, I'm very comfortable here. I could stay for a long time, won't necessarily get the job that I want, but I don't know what's around the corner. I don't know if I'd be able to replicate what I've done here somewhere else. And again, it was doing the same thing that I did at Total, but somewhere else at a different level. So there is a bit of fear, but I think the advice is don't be led by your fear. It's a case of, if you feel like you should be doing more or want to be doing more, explore all your avenues internally and externally.
Speaking of fear,
Oh, no.
a few months ago, you announced to the IT channel that you were going to embrace the 4-day working week.
Yeah.
Now this, I'm going to be completely candid, Bob.
Yeah.
This scares the hell out of me, because I'm thinking, if I embrace that 4 days a week, we're only going to get 4 days of performance. With the revenues would go down. I'm actually worried about it. Adapting it to the market. What made you and the Highgate business adapt that?
So Stuart, who is the MD and founder, Stuart Marginson, I've known him for 20 odd years, back from the Simply Computers days, actually. We worked there together. When we spoke about the role, before I even got involved, I told him, I said, I'm going to come up with some fairly weird and wacky ideas at times, and you feel free to reject them. They're not all going to work. They might not all be for you, but I'll run them past you and see how you feel. And this was one of the things that I said, I reckon there is room for a 4-day week model in this industry. I reckon we could at least try it. And I love trying stuff. What danger is there in trying these things, you know?
Profits go down, Bob. That's not the danger.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I'll ask you a question. Let's swing it around on you. If I said to you that if you weren't going to be impacted on profit, if nothing changed from a performance perspective, zero. It didn't go up and it didn't go down. But all of your employees, their work-life balance and their quality of life would massively improve if you moved to 4-day week. Would you do it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the only thing preventing you from being able to do that is knowing whether or not that would actually work. And that's why we have trials.
And that's why. And how has it worked? How's it going on the 4-day working week?
So we've just completed our 6-month trial. We started it at Q2, at the beginning of Q2. And we thought, let's do it for 3 months. We actually just started, let's do it for 3 months and see how it goes. We built a framework around what it would look like, put some guidelines in place, how it would work. We rolled it out and we adapted it. That was the key, to continuously adapt it, learn from the things that didn't work, retain the things that did work, and continuously evolve the model. And it's just got better and better and it's improved. Anyway, we're at the end of 6 months. We're actually in an interim month now at the end of the 6-month trial, but we're working with a third-party employee wellbeing company that's doing an employee survey, because we didn't want to mark our own homework. We didn't want to say, it's been blinding, we're definitely going to do it, or it's terrible, it doesn't work. So we thought the best way to do this is get a third party involved, get them to provide the analysis on it, detailed analysis, and tell us how has it really impacted people. I mean, I can tell you how it's impacted us commercially, but that wasn't the goal. The goal wasn't to change our commercial output. It was to change how people's lives are. And it's been fantastic.
It's been fantastic.
The answer is it's been fantastic.
Has the feedback?
It's been, well, the feedback, we've not had the official report back.
Right.
We get that back at the end of October, which is the reason why we've not announced what we're going to do. But I can tell you that performance has not dropped. It's increased. Productivity has remained the same or increased. Work-life balance and quality of life, people have told us when we've asked them, it's the best it's ever been.
Really?
The best it's ever been. Their words, not mine. I stand to gain nothing by saying something that isn't true.